So yeah, we're here at the Total Recall Show Christmas
party.
It happens every year.
A lot of Total Recall favorites are milling about here.
Yeah, all our cast and crew.
And
the behind the scenes people.
It looks like there's Lou Ferrigno coming
in a Santa hat.
In a Santa hat, and then
a lot of Santa hats here. I noticed that maybe a memo went out. I didn't send it, but a memo went out to everybody to wear Santa hats.
There's Arnold in a Santa hat. He's here. He's wearing a shirt for some reason. He's dressing down. It says Arnold is numero uno on it, and he's got a sack, and must have toys in it. No, he's passing out copies of his book. Be useful, I think.
Yeah. I was listening to the Revisionist History podcast, and they were talking about like Arnold directed a Christmas movie the same year that Terminator 2 came out.
What?
I guess he was trying to like pivot, get sort of like a directing career go. I don't know if maybe he was wondering if Terminator 2 was going to hit or not,
Wow.
But he was in his mid 40s and he was trying to, maybe get some directings, and he wanted to direct like anything. So he directed a made-for-TV movie remake of Christmas in Connecticut.
Are you kidding me? Gotta be Tom. You've shocked me to my core. This is like. Sometimes I'll hear a little bit about something, or just I had no clue, man. I'm rocked.
Yeah, it's a great episode of that pod. So all credit to them. I love the original Christmas in Connecticut, but I had never heard of this remake. So
absolutely incredible. That
credit to them.
We should do. We have to do like maybe like a watch party of Arnold's. Yeah. He's behind the camera.
He's behind it. If you ever saw like Christmas in Connecticut, it is tied into World War II. It's like these GIs who are like in a hospital and stuff. But then it becomes sort of just like a Christmas movie. Like that's sort of the setup. Yeah. But Arnold took that angle and ran with it. So he wanted like this guy to be like this superhero who like rescues a kid, and there's like action sequence.
Wow.
Like, I guess he wanted some kind of Christmas connection somehow, and then a few years later we get Jingle All the Way.
Yeah. He's like, Jamie, I got a Turbo Man for Jamie. He was like priming the pump for Jingle All the Way. That's Tom. I'm incredible.
Yeah, Dolly Parton in Smoky Mountain Christmas. So I think we started to talk about it a little bit. And then sort of got cut off. But like the other day I was thinking, because I wanted to watch some Christmas stuff, leading up into Christmas. And I thought, you know what? When I was a kid, I saw a million commercials for Dolly Parton's Smoky Mountain Christmas, like a TV special. I saw a million commercials. And I still even think about I think about Smoky Mountain Christmas.
Yeah.
Anytime I see like a mountain where there's a lot of mist and stuff, I'm always like, oh, Smoky Mountain Christmas. I'd seen the commercials a million times, never saw it. So I thought, let me look up Smoky Mountain Christmas. So I looked it up. Put it on a little, and like it's great. And again, seeing the list of people in the movie, it's first of all, I mean, you got Dolly Parton, but it's Lee Majors is in it.
Holy shit.
It's directed by Henry Winkler. It's like that era when he was doing like Spencer for Hire and stuff, when he was like, okay, everybody loves the Fonz. Now it's time for me to step behind the camera. So he directs it. And the intro is so great because it's Dolly Parton and she's doing a music video. It's the 80s. She's doing a music video and she's doing her song, but it's like all hyped up and pumped up. It's got like synths and stuff. Oh. It's like way overproduced.
From 86.
Yeah, and you can tell that she's written this like sweet country song, but they've like overproduced it, pumped it up. And it's almost like predicting what will happen to country music as country music sort of becomes poppy into the 90s, when it sort of becomes like pop, it becomes like less country. Like you're almost seeing a preview of that in this movie. And she's singing, and then it's like cut. She's like, I can't do this. It's like, okay, and she's like, this isn't right. This isn't working. And then she has her agent, played by Rene Auberjonois.
Oh my God, love him.
And so they're talking and stuff, and then he's like, okay, yeah, this cuts over. And so she decides she's like kind of lost touch with her country roots, and so she needs to go back home to the Smoky Mountains, spend some time there for some Christmas, and maybe write a new song or something. And by the end of it, like you've heard the pumped up version, and it's a Dolly Parton song. It's something she's like written for this movie, so it's pumped up. but they can't make it sound too bad. Like they want it to sound like it's inappropriate and wrong, but they don't want it to sound like a garbage like,
song.
It still kind of sounds kind of cool, like a cool track, but you know by the end of it, she's going to be doing like an acoustic version that's going to like nail the thing. And but the one thing I wanted to mention, it's got like a satanic panic connection.
Oh my god!
Because there's like a villainess in it called Jezebel, and she shows up on a horse. And she does like magic spells, and she gets it in her head that Dolly Parton is like trying to steal her man away.
Oh my god!
Maybe some variation of like Jolene or something. And so gonna make it her job to cause as much pain as possible.
Well, one of the stars of the movie, Lee Majors, is like hanging around.
Okay, but yeah, Lee Majors is here. He's getting ready to square off with William Shatner in a remake of their Bionic Man, their $6 Million Man episode.
Shatner is here too. It must be dress down day because it looks like Shatner wore this to the party.
Okay, he wore his
con shirt for some reason, and I
making
knew
up for lost time.
I knew he was around here because I found toupee glue. It was laying by the vegetable platter over there.
He wanted to show that he could rock it better than Ricardo Montalban.
You remember the Santa Claus with Tim Allen?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's the Shatner Claus. Somebody puts on a toupee and starts turning it. It's Shatner's toupee, and they start turning into him.
I was talking to somebody who saw our Shatner episode.
Oh, nice.
And I was telling him like we had to like edit it down because it was like too mean. So and he's like, wait, that was the nice version. He like couldn't believe that there's like a meaner version of it.
Yeah, like the Total Recall cutting room, like
the cutting room floor of the Total Recall show. Yeah, it's like venomous.
We also got Fred Travellina around here. He's doing his joke. There's always a Joker in the deck performance. He seems to break that out no matter what the occasion is.
I've been watching like a lot of old like talk show stuff, and I was watching a bunch of like Jay Leno on David Letterman stuff, and like Jay Leno like mentions Fred Travellino, and I felt like the universe was going to explode because when I was a kid, I couldn't tell one from the other. I thought Jay Leno and Fred Travellino were the same guy, so it was kind of funny for him to acknowledge the existence of Fred Travellino, his doppelganger.
They're like Jaws, or like exactly the same.
And they both do like an Elvis, and I think Fred Travellino. There was some show where he played like an Elvis impersonator. I'm trying to think what show that was. Like he was just like a guest star. It might have been it might have been The Golden Girls. Might have been that famous episode where Quentin Tarantino is an extra. He plays one of the Elvis impersonators.
Fred Travellino looks like when the Power Rangers fight Frankenstein.
No, you're 100% right. He also, there's like a villain on the Goosebumps TV show that looks like. But it was kind of like there was a time when Jay Leno was like the poor man's Fred Travellino, and then they switched places.
Mickey Dolenz, I think he might show up here. Monkey Mania is still running wild. I don't know if you've seen Paul McCartney and his band were singing. Hey, they were like, hey, have you
I saw that. Yeah, that like when they're going out on stage, and that it's I think it was maybe hinted that's like their regular like ritual as they sing hey we're the monkeys.
That's incredible. Like we also have Harrison Ford landing. He's in, for some reason he is flying in John Denver's experimental aircraft. Careful, Harrison. And also a lot of vehicles out there I'm seeing outside the studio. I see Kit, I see Supercar, I see Arc 2 out there. Like all these vehicles, like, you know,
is the chimpanzee driving it?
He's driving. The Arc 2 is hogging all the prime.
It definitely takes up a lot of spots, the Arc 2.
Music selection's good here. You mind if we play a new speedrun track?
Yeah, let's
here
hear
through
the
the music system.
Yeah, you got a new speedrun track, and and just in time for the holidays. I'm glad you guys got one out in time.
Yeah, we recorded, mixed, and mastered it in 10 days.
Okay, so that's like that's almost like John Lennon's Instant Karma, where you're like trying to come up with like an instant single.
Yeah, like arranged it, workshopped it.
I love a quick turnaround.
It was so quick, and the band like rocking it. We're getting really good at recording like faster remotely too. And we did "Somewhere in My Memory" by John Williams from Home Alone. There's we it's a score, but we condensed it to like a pop format. Like, there's lyrics to it, and
were the lyrics in the movie or?
I feel like the lyrics were maybe like a chorus of people in like a church might be singing them, or but I feel like they did show up in the movie somewhere. But I love that. That's one of my favorite John Williams scores. I listen to that a lot.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I keep coming back to that.
Another thing I've been watching is like making of Star Wars prequel videos and stuff. And so they always have like a segment where they're talking to John Williams, getting his input.
Got a lot of great instruments. We got acoustic guitar on there, electric, experimental synths on there.
Yeah.
A lot of harmonies. And I want everyone to list speedrunmusic.bandcamp.com, where you can get all our tunes. We have 3 Christmas songs on there.
That's amazing. Yeah, because you've been doing one every year. So
one a year. Third year, third track. We had decided on this last year, so we had this idea in the hopper all year.
Oh, that's great.
And I think it was down between having a Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney with this one, but we went with this one, and like we're not sure where we're gonna go with for the next track, but
there's like a Netflix documentary like where it's just about Last Christmas, like the making of Last Christmas, and then they get all the like surviving members of Wham and all the people that were in that video,
that sounds great.
And they send them back to that like ski chalet. It's like a little reunion. It's great. You really got to check it out. I liked it a lot. But I was like, and they're playing all the different like segment, like they're in the studio isolating tracks and stuff like that.
That's so cool.
And it was only then that it occurred to me, it sounds a lot like the production and stuff sounds a lot like Paul McCartney Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time. They both have this, synthesizer.
My buddy dialed in that tone.
Yeah.
So he's achieving that somehow with his synth. We do want to implement that in another track. I love that it's like Paul McCartney just discovered that and was just like, I gotta overload it in this track.
I love Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time. But it's interesting that like for a while it was like Happy Christmas, War is Over, John Lennon's
that's a
Christmas
great
song.
track.
Like that was like, okay, here's a great Christmas song, and then here's Paul McCartney's shitty Christmas song. And then it's kind of like they switched places after a point where people were like played out on Happy Christmas, and then Paul McCartney's became kind of like, oh, you know what, I actually like that Paul McCartney. And they've maybe like switched places a couple times. It's interesting that they have to be in opposition to each other.
I love that one too. That could be a possibility for our next track, Lennon's track. We're getting really good at fast-paced recording. Like I usually would just do one or like my first couple takes are like the one, so I kind of like wait to record. Like I'm like, okay, is this what and then once I record it, like that's my take.
Yeah.
Like it's only diminishing returns the more I'm like.
That's interesting. Yeah, you got to find the right level of preparation and improvisation, like preparation and looseness. Like too prepared, not prepared enough. And then there's like a sweet spot.
Yeah, and then like I'm the 1.5 take wonder. But I hope everyone likes it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna plug it into the aux cable here. I have to pull it out. Looks like Keaton is here. He was playing Batman '89 soundtrack. He had Trust and Party Man going. I hear all this din here. It's pretty loud in here, but I'm gonna plug it in.
Johnny Carson has like his show, like he did a bunch of shows before he took over the Tonight Show, and one of them was a show called Who Do You Trust? And I know like the joke is like hubba hubba hubba, money money money, who do you trust? And like Nicholson, Nicholson had all these random references that he'd make that like were completely lost on me, and still are. I'm of a mind to make some movie. Like, what's that mean?
Or Up in the Air, Junior Birdman.
Yeah, Miss Me. Yeah, so it's like,
what's he talking about?
I'm gonna try to maybe follow up on that and see if maybe if I watch Joker's thing kind of makes a little bit of sense if you know about Who Do You Trust.
I'm out here giving
hosted by
away.
Johnny Carson.
Where's Batman? He's at home. Oh, washing his tights.
Oh, you know what? I have a Christmas present.
Wow,
for you if you want to.
that's funny. I have one for you too.
Okay, yeah, here. There you
Wow, thanks. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. Holy shit. Oh, you gotta be shitting me, Bishop. Looks like this is a different Bishop.
This is Desert Storm Bishop.
Yeah. No, I didn't have, you know what? I didn't have this. I had Drake. I did not have Bishop. Because I was like, I'm looking at his chest. I'm like, I don't remember his chest exploding. Holy shit.
Yeah, because you got to reference the movie somehow. And so it's like, yeah, you got to have him get taken apart. Don't you love his look?
Incredible.
Like, they completely changed his look. They made him, gave him like a bald head. Now,
Shitting me, Tom.
Look at the back. Look at this picture in the back. They took a photo of the actor and then airbrushed all the cybernetics on top.
You know what? I bet you maybe Hendrickson didn't approve his likeness.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like that's
That's
a photo
him. That's 100%.
So,
this is incredible, Tom.
I'm sure they couldn't just spray paint over his.
Bishop was featured in, if I remember correctly, in the commercial.
Okay.
This figure was prominently featured. Like, it showed his Gatling gun turn. He was heavily featured in the commercial.
Was there a cartoon that went with, like an alien cartoon? Okay.
No.
Because this is such a radical interpretation of Bishop. I thought maybe he's for like the Deke cartoon or something.
And I was obsessed with Apone's No Bugs t-shirt. Like, I don't remember Apone having a cybernetic arm or a No Bugs shirt. This is amazing. Oh my god. Oh fuck. And then there's
package.
And it's the comic book too, Tom. Yeah. This is
now the other thing that's interesting to me is this idea of Desert Storm.
Oh yeah, I
Bishop,
think
because it's like, was Desert Storm so hot at that moment that it was like a branding thing where it's like, you put Desert Storm on your product, it's gonna blow off the shelves.
They're it's like little did we know that Bishop is Stormin Norman Schwarzkopf's right hand man.
Yeah, and it didn't for Bishop, isn't like Desert Storm like ancient history?
Yeah, he's like
I guess it's not Operation Desert Storm. It's just like he's storming in a desert somewhere. I don't remember any deserts in the movie, but
if there's an alien cartoon, this Bishop character is obsessed with Desert Storm.
Right? Maybe in Earth history that's the period I'm most obsessed with. Is
an alien xenomorph in this scale. This is like awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool scale, and it looks, because there's all kinds of like.
Want to open it up? Let's do it.
There's all kinds of like xenomorph toys and action figures and stuff, and like various levels of detail. But I really like this one because it's it kind of is like this a similar level of simplicity as like the Kenner.
Yeah.
One from like the 70s. I don't want a xenomorph toy that's too like movie accurate or too many or is too posable. I want one that's kind of like retro, that looks like a toy that could have come out at that same era.
This would be perfect fighting these like Ripley's like, I thought I was rid of you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you got something for me? Oh man, you shouldn't have.
Yeah.
To Tom from Matt. Okay. What's this?
It's
interesting. I like it. It's solid.
It's a framed picture of Michael Keaton.
Oh wow!
From Batman '89.
I love it. This is going to have a prominent place. Wow, that's great. Thanks, Matt. That's
you're welcome.
Amazing.
Isn't that awesome?
That looks great. Wow, look at that.
Isn't that awesome?
So classy. Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. And yeah, it's Batman '89, and it's because he had a bunch of different suits. Yeah, this is the variation because they had the variation. They had a bunch of different capes, and they'd have like the cape that kind of comes down in the front. Kind of hangs in the front. And this is like the cape that's kind of like folded over the back, for action.
Isn't that awesome?
Matt, thanks. That's
you're
really
welcome.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh, look at that! Broke him out. A freedom from the
and he's got the clear top. I like the clear top.
Looks like his head's little Get these off of there.
Yeah, well, it's got these rubber bands on the top of his head because This is removable. This
No
dome
way!
is removable.
Are you serious?
And then there's like a little thing, so if you want to bring his
double jaws,
his jaw out, yeah,
that's
and then
cool.
you can snap this back on. But it's it just feels like it's kind of like they put out. It's one of those Super 7 reaction figures, and they put out like a scaled down version of like the old Shogun Godzilla, and I thought that was kind of cool. And this kind of reminds me of like a scaled down version of that like big xenomorph.
This thing, is so cool. I love the scale on this guy. This is
great
awesome.
scale, nice plastic,
very nice.
Good color choice, and this like this translucent cover.
I love this guy. Well, I guess let's do let's do the deed here.
Yeah, crack open
Bishop. Lance, it's like
that's so hilarious. I gotta hold that for
that's Lance Hendrickson's driver's license photo.
Yeah.
It's this picture. They're like, all right. Oh my gosh. There he is in this chamber. I've always wanted Bishop. Oh man, this is awesome. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's only since we started doing this show that. Whoa! Did his thumb break off or something?
The handle broke
okay.
off.
I mean, it's old plastic.
It's old plastic, but guess what? I've got Gorilla Glue. It's going
nice
back
job.
on there.
It's. I mean, it's been. Like it's only since we started doing the show that I even knew that these Aliens action figures existed. Like when I first started seeing commercials for them, I thought, oh, this is some kind of thing that somebody made now, as if like, oh, let's pretend there was a line of Aliens toys for kids in the 90s.
No, but I was collecting them back then.
I mean, same thing with like the Kenner Xenomorph. Like I'm still not. I'm like 99% convinced that it actually existed, but I'm not 100% convinced that it did. Like I didn't, I just never saw any evidence of that until recently, and I'm a skeptical person. So you just pull them apart.
You just pull them apart.
Okay, you pull them apart.
Oh, that's cool.
And what's his line that he says when he's just like sitting there? Just looking at the art and stuff. Yeah, it's produced by Dark Horse, but I'm assuming it's like unique to this toy line because it's got the Desert Storm Bishop is featured in it, and just sort of like the panel arrangements and stuff. It looks like comics made for toys. This would be a cool thing, like for somebody to release, is to like collect all these and reissue them in some kind of like little book.
This looks like number 1, so the story starts there.
Or maybe it's just number 1 for Bishop, and then everybody has their own number 1. That's sort of a comics gimmick there. Our Christmas party is going to continue. Download Speedrun's Christmas single. Go buy Godzilla's Monsterpiece Theater issue 2. It's in stores now. You're gonna love it. The story just keeps getting better and better with each installment.
This is a great party, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for the
great
the thoughtful
food.
gifts.
Oh, you're welcome.
Candles in the window, shadows painting the ceiling, gazing at the fire glow, feeling that gingerbread feeling. Precious moments, special people, happy faces I can see.